The day everything changed. What if I told you that the moment you're struggling the most is actually the moment your life is closest to changing forever? Not next month, not next year, but right now, because every successful person you admire once stood exactly where you are, confused, tired, and almost ready to quit. And this is the story of someone who almost did. His name was Mason. He wasn't special, at least that's what he believed. Every morning started the same way, waking up late, checking his empty bank account, and staring at messages he hoped would say, "You got the job." But they never came. Rejection after rejection. "Thank you for applying, but..." He stopped reading the rest. One night, sitting alone in a small, dim room, he whispered to himself, "I guess I'm just not meant for anything big." And that's when everything almost ended, not his life, but his dreams. Because he stopped trying. But here's the strange thing about rock bottom. You don't stay there forever. Either you give up completely, or something inside you snaps awake. And for Mason, it was a phone call that changed everything. Unknown number. He almost didn't pick up. "Hello," he said flatly. A pause. Then, "Is this Mason? We saw your old application from months ago. Are you still interested in working on a small project?" Small project. That's all it was. No big salary, no dream job, just a chance. Most people would have ignored it. But Mason said yes, not because he believed in success, but because he was tired of failure. And this is where most people get it wrong. They think success starts with motivation. But it doesn't. It starts with a decision so small, you almost miss it. The work was hard. Mason didn't know half the things they expected him to do. He made mistakes. A lot of them. One day his supervisor said, "If you keep this up, you won't last a week." That hit hard. He went home that night thinking, maybe I really am not good enough. But instead of quitting, he stayed up, learning, watching tutorials, practicing until his eyes burned. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Slowly, things started to change. But the real test wasn't whether he could survive the work. It was whether anyone would ever notice it. Because hard work in silence feels like shouting into the void. One afternoon, everything shifted. A major client project had failed. Panic everywhere, deadlines collapsing, and Mason, who was supposed to be just an assistant, spoke up. "I think I can fix it." Silence. Everyone looked at him. Even he didn't fully believe it. But he worked through the night. Fixing, rebuilding, testing. No sleep, no guarantees, just effort. When morning came, the project worked perfectly. That was the moment everything changed. Because sometimes, your entire life flips. Not when you feel ready, but when you finally act despite not being ready. Months later, Mason wasn't the same person. The same guy who once stared at rejection emails was now leading projects, mentoring others, and being asked, "How did you do it?" He always smiled before answering, "By not stopping when I thought I should." So if you're watching this thinking your life is behind, or you're not talented enough, or it's too late, remember this: your small opportunity might already be in front of you. And your transformation doesn't begin when life gets easier. It begins the moment you refuse to quit while it's hard. Because the day everything changes often starts on the day you decide to keep going. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more videos.